Welcome everybody, I'm Burner. This is The Walking Dead Road to Survival, and we're going to do another installment of Worth the Squeeze. And as you can see, we are going to talk about the all-new War Token event. This almost slipped by me, but I had a few people ask my opinion. What's the value here? So I thought we would do an official Worth the Squeeze on it. As you can see, redeem war tokens in the token section of recruits and rewards for chances of large quantities of war energy. And if we come up, you can see the offer for the bag. Use war energy tokens in the token and rewards section. Let's jump into it. You can see here we have 295 coins, get you one bag. And inside you can get a minimum of 1,000 and up to 5,000. This is very similar to the recent raid tokens that we saw during the last raid event. You're going to get at least one pull. The thing is with the game, and again, this is my own personal standpoint, this one depends on the value you put into war refills. Generally, they cost in the neighborhood of about 150 a piece with the other token events, or the other bag events, I guess I should say, for refills on war energy. And so they're a little bit more expensive than raid energy refills or world energy refills. I think Scopely's reasoning is because war will give out a large number of 5 stars because an entire faction gets them. But in saying that, it takes a lot more war refills, I think, to make an impact at the upper level than it does with sort of the value you get out of raid or world energy refills. So I don't really agree with the value they put on it to begin with. They help in very close matches, against tough competition to kind of help push you over the edge. At the very top levels, you obviously need not just war refills, but also coins to be competitive. So at those top levels, they are a needed resource. But in a lot of cases, when you are warring that much and your teams are that well put together and competitive, you tend to pretty much make up from war refill drops that you'll get when you fight lesser competition. If you're in a top faction, there's a fair number of times where you're meeting up with competition that you can easily dominate. You don't have to use a lot of refills, and you'll get some as drops. So the purchasing refills, I don't think you need to do it a whole lot. Again, we've talked about it in the past. I'm not in a top 3 faction, but I do know the mechanics of the game pretty well. So again, I don't agree with the value that Scopely puts on war energy refills. Myself, I almost come out of every war after a couple days with slightly more than I went into it, between finishes, MVP and drops, and I don't see buying a lot of them. And because Scopely puts this extra value, making them more expensive as a free-to-play player, I don't see spending my coins on them. All of that being said, 295 coins, you're guaranteed at least one pull. Unfortunately, the bottom pull is one can. So compared to some of the other offers they give for war energy, you can actually spend more coins to get less energy, as opposed to the raid energy tokens that we saw, where you were getting a great deal regardless. Because of the drop rates with Scopely, I think you're going to get one can more often. And even if you get 2, you're not getting much of a discount at 2. And the problem is you're not going to get 2 often. You're going to be getting that one can, and you'll actually be paying more for per can because of this price tag. So to me, this isn't really worth it. There aren't a lot of offers for war energy. So if you are stuck in a tight spot, I guess it's sort of doing a deal with the devil. You know, you don't really have other options to come up with war energy, but I just don't see the value in it. This is something that I would definitely love feedback from any of my subs who are in, top factions, and the resource of war energy refills is a huge part of their game. Let me know what you guys think about purchasing of war energy, if you think I'm off base here, or if purchasing needs to be a part of your plan in a top faction. But again, personally, I don't see the value to begin with the extra cost over the other refills that we have, and with this offer specifically, I don't see the added value. I think in a sense they use it as a way for a money grab, because they know if you are in a top faction, or if you're competing for a position, especially if you're on the cusp of, third place, you might be willing to spend money to kind of push you over the top. Uh, that's that's kind of all I have to say about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can add. You can kind of guess where I'm going with this. I'm I think this is going to be our first 4 lemon. Like I said, you're only guaranteed to get one pull, and the lowest prize, which you're going to get more often than not, is one can, and you're almost paying double for one can than you will be paying in some of the other offers. So I think this is probably one of the worst buys that you can get. If you need war energy that bad, I guess you don't have a lot of options, but I just don't see a lot of value in this. Definitely, if you disagree, comment below. Let me hear about it. Throw some vitriol my way, and maybe you can bring me around to having a little bit of increased idea of the worth of raid energy refills. Besides commenting, if you guys like it, if you guys want to throw any thoughts at it, please do click on that like button. If you're new and you want to hear more, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.